Hello, everyone. I had just attempted to record a channeled message with Mary Magdalene, which was so beautiful, but it didn't record. So I'm going to try and remember all that just came through because it was a really beautiful message. I'm going to share some of that and then we'll dive into the cards and the week ahead collective energy reading. So I sat down thinking I was just going to do the energy reading, felt called to do a channel message, got called to my Divine Master cards. Mary Magdalene came out. So I've tuned into her energy and received this beautiful message about the rise of the Divine Feminine energy right now on Earth collectively, and that the Magdalene line, the Rose lineage, of which there are many Divine Feminine masters that were a part of that, are here supporting those of us incarnated at this time to bring about this energy, to bring about this shift. And it really was speaking to us needing to step into our roles within that as the new feminine leaders of the new earth, and how that will bring about a tipping point. And the start of the message spoke to how the world is going to start to recognize the beauty, the magic, the essence, the impact of the feminine energy. And it was described like that unfolding of a rose and that real appreciation for the beauty that lives within that, and a real shift of that perspective of what the feminine energy is here for, what we're looking for in our leaders of the world, and how those of us that are walking this path right now are really being asked to follow our guidance, to trust in our path. A reminder that this path may feel lonely, but there's many of us walking this path at this point in time. And so when we are feeling lost or lonely or unsure, to tune into that energy, to tune into the stories of the women that form part of this line in the past, to remember that they too face their own challenges and resistance and fought their own battles, but also to tune into the energy of everyone here on earth at this point in time that are walking similar path, to remind ourselves that we are not alone and that this work we're doing is really important. In terms of stepping into that role as leader of the new earth, which was a big part of this message, was just described through the channel as firstly acknowledging that we can meet that idea with resistance, that even the idea of what leadership is right now in the world is so far from maybe what we connect with feminine energy, and that is shifting. And so to release ourselves from trying to understand what that might look like and really thinking about how can I embrace the essence of the divine feminine energy, and you'll naturally fall into your leadership in that way. It also spoke about the different forms of leadership. I'm just trying to remember what they were. It spoke about the divine feminine warrior energy being really present right now, divine feminine mother, that real nurturing type energy, divine feminine creator, that real, I just felt this strong sacral chakra birthing of the new kind of energy there. And something that's been coming through really strongly for me around that is it's not just the structures and how we want this new world to look, but there's a really big piece there around creating new connections and relationships that are outside the framework that our current connections and relationships exist within. And so there is a role for some of these divine feminines, possibly twin flames, because that's just come in as I've said that, to be stepping into that aspect of that creator energy. There was one more, and the divine feminine teacher, guide, priestess kind of energy, like the people that will be leading other people down this path of learning to connect with their feminine energies, to lead from and move from that place, to help them on their own spiritual path of awakening and connecting with their inner truth. I'm going to have to go through and edit a lot of sniffles out of this, but just acknowledging that my voice is not 100%. My nose is nonstop. I'm not very well. I've posted a reel to Instagram today addressing how the universe has knocked me off my feet this week to make me stop, but also to force me to really sit with the fact that I am not being able to do everything that I've committed to doing, and that people are not feeling as supported and cared for and having their expectations met by me as they might be used to, but also as they might want to right now. And that's been really hard, but it's all part of my own learning. And yeah, this idea that we're in this rapid fire transformation and healing portal, and we're just getting offered all of these opportunities for evolution right now is how I'm choosing to look at it, because it's extremely challenging, but in every challenge there is an opportunity to grow, to heal, to evolve, and that is what I'm trying to bring into this moment in time. All right. I have not, because I was recording the channel message and then I wanted to jump on and share what was in it before it lost from my brain. I have not had a lot of time to think about what cards I want to use, so we'll work through that shortly. One of the things that has been coming up for me in the last few days, a lot around this idea of often when we're in these big portals of change and transformation and we're looking to create or step into new opportunities, create new things, or we've created space and we're looking for what might come in to fill those spaces, there is a tendency for us to think about what we don't want, possibly based on our past experiences, possibly just based on like those core principles of what's really important to not draw into your life, what you're trying to protect yourself from, protect your heart from. Sometimes we even create the list of what we want, but again, from that idea of what the opposite is of what we don't want. And there's some benefit and help in that, but the message that's been coming in really strongly for me is actually we need to be more intentional, and this is that manifestation energy altogether. So it may be that energy is really strong for us right now. We need to be really intentional about communicating to the universe what it is that we want, and really thinking about what sits underneath that. Not only describing what it is that you want, but describing what it would feel like for that to be present within your life. Like, if I'm calling in a client base that are completely aligned with this point of my path where I can support them in their awakening journey, I can support them in their own healing and transformation and growth and alchemizing of all the beautiful energy that they have a skewed perception of that actually is their superpower. If that's what I'm wanting to call in right now, what would that feel like? It would feel like me getting out of bed each day excited to connect with these individuals, to connect with their energy, to grow together in community, to feel that supportive relationship grow and nurture each other as we build upon the work that is ultimately focused on them, but there is that mutual exchange of energy. It would feel like making such a difference in those people's lives that not only is it visible, but it echoes out beyond them, that it ripples out beyond them, and that ultimately creates and calls in a even bigger and more beautiful community of people that can come together and support each other in this point in time, in this path that we're on, in this shift in timeline, in this stepping into the new earth. That's just one example, but there's so many of those where we spend so much time thinking on a almost like a list, what's on paper of what it is that we want or what it is that we don't want. And I was having a couple of conversations last night that really reinforced this of I myself on this healing journey have spent a lot of time on my own journey, created a lot of space in that, not necessarily intentionally, for new connections, friendships, business partnerships, romantic relationships possibly to come in. But I haven't spent a lot of time really thinking on what I would like that to look like. There's like a couple of key pieces for me that really, when I think about it, are actually more grounded in what was a missing piece previously within those friendships, within those connections. And so that piece is still important, but it's not the whole picture. So I'm inviting you all to think about that right now, because it's feeling like right now, as we're building this new earth around us by building our own new lives, that is really important for us to really sit with what it is that I do want, and what would this feel like if it came in. The other bit of this, which has been very interesting for me to sit with, is, am I actually open to receiving that? Because again, it's all good in theory and on paper, looking at what it is that I might want across all of these different things, even that example that I just gave around a client base. But if that was all to come in tomorrow, that would mean stepping away from something pretty huge in my life. And so across each of these areas of life that we're trying to create, as you're sitting with what it is I want to create, what would that feel like, manifesting in that space, not forgetting to look at, am I open to receiving this truly? And if you're not, what is sitting underneath that? Is it fear? Is it fear of failure? Is it fear of rejection? Is it some healing that still needs to be done? Is it fear of releasing control and surrendering to a new path? Is it fear of letting go of the past? There's a whole heap that could be sitting underneath that. And the best laid manifestations and intentions are not going to be able to yield results unless you've had a look at that. And in some ways, the universe actually might bring an example of that in for you to really make you look at that. Like, you said you wanted this. Do you really? Are you really willing to give this a go? Are you really willing to step away from what you need to make this work? Are you really willing to let go of the past to step into this new path? Are you really willing to take the leap, to be courageous, to let go of control, to surrender? And again, if you're not, maybe that's totally fine. Maybe you're not ready. Maybe there's still work to do. Maybe that wasn't actually what you wanted. And trying to differentiate between those two. Is my ego or my wounding or my whatever trying to protect me from the possibility of what I am calling in? Or is it actually not based in what I really want? Is this that I'm trying to call in alignment with what path I'm wanting to walk? That is what I think we're being asked to sit with right now, as well as at the same time as, and this is why the energy is so chaotic right now, at the same time as fast-paced healing being thrown at us through opportunities to evolve. We are spiritual beings having a human experience right now that the energies of which are nothing like I have experienced in my lifetime. There is so much opportunity available to us to both let things fall apart, do some healing, release our karma, manifest in what we want, and really create this new earth, this new world, this new life that we are stepping into, all at the same time. Like, literally over the space of a day, you could do all of those things. And then the next day, the same again, which is a lot. And it's probably explaining why, at least for me, I'm feeling so tired, so run down, why sickness has knocked me off my feet. It's like, Donna, you're spending so much time in this that you're not having enough space, energy, time away from the go, go, go of 3D human existence to actually sit with some of these questions that you really need to be sitting in with right now. So there's my invitation to you. What is it that you need to be looking at it? What is you trying to manifest and call in? What's underneath that? What does that feel like? Are you actually open and willing to receive that? And I think that is a big part of this divine feminine energy for us, is that energy is being open to receive. And so many of us, myself included, have been so in our masculine energy out of necessity, out of expectation, out of just societal conditioning, that's a really uncomfortable place to sit in, to go, I'm ready to surrender and I'm ready to receive all that I am worthy of, all that I desire, all that I deserve, and risk all that could come along with that. but at the same time having faith that what is meant for you will absolutely come through for you, including the opportunities. With all of that being said, let's go Priestess of the Light and see what messages want to come through for the Mind Body Soul Transformation Collective for the week ahead. Sensuality, as I split the deck, feminine wisdom and passion. I'm not sure. It could have been a more perfect card. Messages for the Mind Body Soul Transformation Collective for the week ahead. What do we need to know, Spirit? What's the energy of the week ahead? Sacred breath and sound, life force, communication. It is a 10 card. For some reason, just as I was just thinking as I was shuffling, not really across all of the astrology right now, and then I was thinking about Neptune in Aries, which is just about to happen for the first time in a long time, 100 and something years. But then as I saw this card, even though there's no moon or anything on it, it made me think of the Libra full moon, which is happening tomorrow. I'll come back to that because I don't see the direct connection, but it's the first thing I thought when that card came out. Things of light, becoming something new, 42 card. Anything else, Spirit? Balance, Libra card at the bottom. Stability and standing firm, number 40 card. And then I had 3 come out all together. We've got go with the flow, clarity, planning, releasing illusion, and telepathy. 22 card, transmission, perception, communication. So tune into this energy. We've got the sacred breath and sound card and the telepathy card that both have communication as the last word on them. As I tune into that energy, I'm really feeling strong throat chakra energy. Let me just clarify. What is it about communication, Spirit? What is it that we need to know? Throat chakra energy, communication. What do we need to know? Good fortune. So, I've used my Sacred Symbols deck to try and clarify this communication message. And good fortune is the card that came out, and blessings is the word that's coming through for me there. Blessings and abundance. I'll probably have a look in the book for what this symbol is talking about. Then at the bottom of the deck, we've got karmic path again, which we had last week, and I've got a strong message today that this rapid fire transformation and healing portal that we're in is the opportunity to release all the karma that we came into for this life. We've got divine feminine. We've got guides. So our guides are supporting us at this time. And then we've got truth, which I think is why I picked up this deck. This is the card that I could see in my head, thinking that this message around communication was speaking to the need to speak our truth. But it's feeling deeper than that to me, this truth card. Something about what's beneath the surface, like being willing to be vulnerable and share parts of you that you've not shared before, or share your new truth, or the parts of you that you are only just discovering. And there's something here about being open to your truth changing. Go with the flow. Becoming something new. clarity, glow with the flow, becoming something new. Yeah, there's something here about releasing the idea, and this is something I've really had to be sitting with a lot over the last few months, releasing the idea that we know the truth, that there is only one truth, accepting that sometimes the truth is actually an illusion, but also that things can change, and being comfortable with sitting in, not holding onto an aspect of truth, just being that distant observer that allows you to more innately connect with your own truth and to recognize what is true for you at this moment in time. That will ultimately allow you to become something new, to create something new. I use good fortune here though. Why did that come out as the clarifier? Seems like an interesting card to be coming out at this moment in time. And I'm kind of getting this message around a shift in what that might mean for us, a shift in what good fortune actually means, what blessings and abundance actually means. Guide, the illuminated path. So guides are out twice. We're definitely heavily guided right now on our path. And for those that were connecting with that Mary Magdalene message, that idea that we need to follow our illuminated path and connect with that. And maybe telepathic communications between those that are on similar paths. I think I remember a message a few weeks ago about creating those networks of people that are performing similar roles across the globe, and something about connections between those individuals. Maybe there's telepathic communication opening up between those individuals. Anything more about this good fortune, Spirit? Read the book is what I just heard. Okay. Good fortune. Let's start there. The symbol was the pagan magical symbol for blessings and good fortune. No matter what your query, the universe gives you its blessing. This is a powerful time for manifesting. So ask now for what it is you want more of in life. It is granted. Acknowledge the blessings in your life and more will appear. Okay, this is actually speaking to that message I was speaking to before I got the cards out. This is speaking to that idea of what it is we're wanting to call in, what that actually feels like. Are we actually ready to receive that? Because our guides are here supporting us, the divine feminine energy of needing to be open to receiving that. Receiving is on this card too. Go with the flow, letting go, cleansing, receiving. So really strong, divine feminine energy here, but also that underpinning message of not holding so tightly onto what that would look like. So there's a difference between, yeah, right, okay, it's all coming together. There's a difference between writing down on paper everything that you are wanting to call in and having like this really rigid idea of what that looks like. Maybe it's your dream house, maybe it's your dream partner, maybe it's your dream job, maybe it's your dream client. Like being so locked into what that looks like is going to stop what it actually is from coming in. So going with the flow, getting clear on what that feels like, but being open to the possibilities of how that could come in, how those blessings could come in. So when you're communicating your truth to the universe, being open to how you're communicating that. And a phrase that I've heard that is helpful maybe for those of you that are like really locked in on, I want this particular person, I want this particular house, I want this particular job, I want this particular client, I want this particular car, whatever it might be. It can be even something like that or better. You know, whatever is in my highest alignment, that is what we're wanting to call in. That is the truth. And really sitting with, is this stuff that I've jotted down on my vision board, in my manifestations, in my journal about what I'm wanting to call in, actually still my truth? Was it ever my truth? But is it still my truth? Is it still in alignment with where I'm going and what I am becoming? With karmic path out again, as I just said that, there was this message coming through of previously you might have been wanting to call something in because that was part of your karmic path, but because we're in this portal of releasing that karmic energy that we came into this lifetime for, it may be what you're wanting to call in, or what is aligned with you now in this new timeline that we're stepping into is completely different to what you wanted a week ago, a month ago, a year ago. Possibly completely different to what it is that you're in right now. And really sitting with that truth that is sometimes hard to face. All right. Going to have a look at this sacred breath and sound one too. And there's something else I just want to clarify about the wolves on two of the cards that are out, 21 and 22. So, sacred breath and sound, life force, communication. This priestess of the breath of life brings the light of the dolphin to you. This important totem has been a symbol of the life force embodied in breath, movement, and sound. This card is telling you to bring the dolphin's easy flowing pattern to the breath of your life force at this time. Healing is available to you now on both the physical and personal levels. Deep breathing can relieve stress, initiate and accelerate healing, and raise the resonant vibration of your chi, or life force. So if there's a physical issue or a personal pattern you want to resolve, spend some time in deep breathing and meditation and let yourself feel fluid, peaceful influence it brings to your body and your life. Another sacred energy heralded by this card is a resonance of sound. Dolphins have a special way of communicating, sending out clicks and responding to their reverberations. This card is calling your attention to how you communicate with yourself and with others. The aqua blue colors of this card reinforce the importance of this message, vibrating with the energy of the fifth or throat chakra. It's your soul's directive to honor your self-expression. If you find it difficult to speak up, start by venting your difficult feelings in your journal. This healing process leads to greater courage of expression in the future. It's time to share your feelings, voice your requests, and honor your right to speak out. Take a deep breath and practice communicating openly with others. The resonance of your breath and sound will soon move your life forward with the freedom, fluidity, and sparkling joy of the dolphin's magical energy. I love that, and I love dolphins, so super special card. Now, if I'm right, there are two cards in this deck with wolves on them, and I think we have them both out on the table with the telepathy and the guide card, because it's happened in a reading before. Let me just check, though. Yep. Well, they're linked together anyway. So I'll read you the telepathy card because it was the other communication one. Transmission, perception, communication. This card shows the priestess of the universal mind, the eternal voice. The light that rises from above her crown chakra opens the door to all of spirit. The orb encircling her heart center vibrates through infinity, opening the portal to immortal wisdom. She comes to tell you that you are, right now, capable of profound perception and telepathic communication. You've been endowed with this talent since the origins of the divine consciousness at the beginning of time. So let yourself trust in that innate power. When you want to receive, all you have to do is stop, breathe, open up, and trust. The wolf's bright eyes pierce straight into the heart of the spirit world. Unlike the wolf on card 21 who guides you on your personal path, I'll show you that card in a moment, this one creates a direct connection with the ethereal entities riding the waves of the energetic realm. The wolf's incredible instincts, acute senses, and extraordinary intelligence offer profound understanding of every aspect of the environment. You have this capacity as well. Practice tuning in to the helpful transmissions around you, and you'll be amazed by spontaneous insights. This powerful card calls upon your incredible ability to reach out and communicate with the very elements of the earth, in addition to receiving transmissions from the outer edges of the universe, from the spirit world and beyond. It is your destiny and the destiny of humankind to evolve into this deep telepathic state. Do not think it is beyond you. Open up to this sleeping power, and the universe will speak to you in more ways than you can imagine. And this is so you can see there's the telepathy wolf and the wolf on that path. Okay, just get these sorted, and we'll move on to the tarot. I think we will go, we're going to start with the Light Seer Tarot, and we will go from there. Prepared the deck, so just give me a moment. Before I pull tarot cards, I've just got a message that kind of reinforces what we already got out of those oracle cards, but I will just show you the imagery. So I was just looking at this card, which is the Go With The Flow card, was really making me think of receiving feminine energy, but I was noticing how she's like crossing her hands over her heart, which to me was like protecting herself, not actually being open to receiving. And then with the clarity, it was like that message of get clear on what it is you want, but you need to open yourself up to receiving to be able to call in or to become something new. You can't get to this point without opening yourself up. Okay, let's see what the tarot holds for us for messages for the Mind, Body, Soul transformation for the week ahead. That was very quick, Spirit. Thank you. We have Queen of Wands and Judgment already. The Fool on that split as well. Gosh, they're flying out. 9 of Cups. It's beautiful so far. Anything else, Spirit? Messages for the Mind, Body, Soul transformation collective for the week ahead. Messages that are of the light and the best and highest good of all. Thank you, Spirit. Eight of Wands and the Tower at the bottom of the deck. Messages coming in or fast-moving energy with the Eight of Wands there. So whatever we've got here is happening quickly. So the first 3 cards out, Queen of Wands, Judgment, 9 of Cups, and even 3 of Wands. I think this is all just reinforcing the message that we had, but we got the Queen of Wands, which is really that beautiful of like stepping into the passion and purpose and that real excited, driven energy, like that real clarity on when I was describing what do these manifestations feel like, that's this energy. Like I'm just lit up and excited by all of the possibilities of whatever it is that you might be thinking of and trying to manifest and call in. And then we have the Judgment card, which to me is in this imagery is here because we're talking about like both of these cards really surrendering to what that could be, like really just being open to the possibilities. And with 9 of Cups here, again, she's like heart open, ready to receive all of this blessings, all of this good fortune, all of this abundance, wish fulfillment. And we're ready. We're waiting for it to come in with the 3 of Wands here. We've lit our torches. We're visible. Come and get me. Whatever it is that you are wanting to call them. The last 2 cards are Death and Rebirth. and the Queen of Swords. So Death and Rebirth card can speak to endings, new beginnings. And we did kind of speak about that a little bit. And obviously we've got the full moon in Libra coming up too tomorrow. So full moons are all about releasing and creating space for the new. So very appropriate energy. But also this idea of releasing. And Queen of Swords is someone that's really in their mind, really intellectualizing, really like that pen on paper kind of idea of this is what it needs to be. So to me, these two cards coming out together is for all of this that we've been talking about to take place, we need to let go of that intellectualizing part of us that thinks we can control what this is going to look like. And the thing that always draws my attention on this card is the cup that's kind of locked away. And to me, this kind of right now is speaking to this same kind of energy of this lady covering her heart up. It's like, am I really open to receiving this? Am I really open to letting my heart get hurt by the possibilities of all of this that I am excited and dreaming about? Am I open to the disappointment of this not looking like how I want it to? Am I actually ready to release and go with the flow and let go of the past, let things die and crumble away if they need to really allow all that I'm calling in to come in? By the end of the video, my nose was going to be as red as my dress. But anyway, it's also getting quite warm in here with all this energy. Do I need to clarify any of that, Spirit? I just got the message maybe to try and help some of you recognize what it is that you're needing to release or let go of or surrender to the ending of with the Death and Rebirth card. To just try and clarify that one for you. What is it that you are gripping onto control of, or what is it that you're just needing to surrender to? So we'll go there. Didn't even get to ask, but Six of Swords is moving to calmer waters, moving on, moving forward from something in the past, leaving something in the past behind. Anything more about this Death and Rebirth card, Spirit, that can help those that need the guidance to call that in? That was 3 cards anyway, but 2 of Wands, bottom of the deck, Magician, 4 of Swords, and King of Wands. King of Wands and Queen of Wands here. No Ace of Cups this week, which we've had the last 2 weeks, but Magician is this manifesting, calling in what it is that you are wanting to call in, but to do that, you need to do the healing. 4 of Swords comes after the 3 of Swords, which is heartache. So for some of you, you might be beyond what it is that you've released, but you're still in that healing phase of actually opening your heart up to the possibility of something new. There's some healing still to be done. With the King of Wands here and the Queen of Wands at the start of the reading, I'm kind of getting this as more a message around the masculine energy versus the feminine energy. That some of this healing that you're needing to do is the way you approach these things from a masculine energy point of view, rather than that openness and receiving and flow and creativity, feminine energy ways of going about things. What I'm getting is like they're both wand energy, so they're both something that is exciting and maybe fills you with passion and enthusiasm and lights you up. But for this energy, which is the energy that you're being asked to release and to heal, it's like, this is my idea and I need to do step A, step B, step C, step D to make that happen. And I've got a plan, I've got a business plan, I've got a structure to exactly what I'm going to do, and that is my route to success. Very structured, very rigid in what it looks like or how you're going to go about calling it in. Whereas this is like, this is so interesting. I have that idea. This is my great idea. I'm full of passion. I can vocalize it, but I'm really open to kind of flowing with how that all unfolds with me. I'm going to follow my intuition. I'm going to follow those breadcrumbs, follow those little intuitive nudges, and follow the path that is aligned with ultimately calling this in how it is meant to be. And that is such a separation from not even how the world has operated, but also how the energy has operated up to this point. Like, I am someone that can come up with the idea of, we should do this. This would be really great for all of these reasons. But the execution, which is kind of the energy that I was just speaking to here, has not been my strong suit. I've really needed to work with others to execute the ideas that I might have around a particular project or whatever the context might be. And I'm almost getting a sense here that that's shifting. Like, there's something about, there's something about that shifting in a big way. Like, that idea is going to be powerful enough to magnetize, to call in what it is that you are trying to create. And it's going to be less hard, is kind of the word that is coming to mind. Like, if you can put your ideas out into the universe, communicate your ideas out into the universe in a really beautiful, truthful, aligned way that is open to all of the possibilities, it's almost as if that path is going to unfold in front of you, and it's going to feel almost effortless to call in what it is that you are trying to call in. Gosh, I hope. That sounds amazing. Because, as I said, it's an energy. This has been an energy that I've really struggled to enact. I'm just trying to think. The other thing that's coming in as I'm saying all of that is what I'm seeing around me in that space, but also collectively and globally in that space. Like, I've been sitting, and I think I've already spoken about this in this video, about this idea of not holding on to what the truth is, what the, like, that idea of this is right and that's wrong, this is the truth and that whatever. I've been really trying to sit at that from a position of what's going on collectively and globally right now, because it just is so mad from what we're used to and what we're used to expecting, even what we've been conditioned to think is the right way about going about things, to really make any sense of it. And so there's something there around this energy of how this shift is playing out. I'm almost getting the sense that some of the things that we might be looking at happening right now in the world that just make no sense. Like, it just seems like one individual that's, and I'm not necessarily talking about just one individual, but it's almost like we're looking at something that just isn't making a lot of sense to us and looks like it's going to be disastrous. But there's something underlying it that is going to be successful, is what's coming through. Like, it's a new way of manifesting. The other thing in this space that I'm just recognizing that I'm seeing a lot in my immediate circle, 5555 on the timer, is the frustration of other people around things not being done in that structured way. And I feel like there's a piece here around what I've shared on Instagram already today around me having so much on my plate, dropping so many balls, and that causing frustration in so many people around me right now, which I'm having to do my own healing around. But it's that grip of control. It's those people trying to control or hold on to the truth of, this is how things need to be done. Anything else we need to know, Spirit? Anything else we need to know about this message today? 8 of Cups. 10 of Swords. What's the 10 of Swords here, Spirit? Can you give me more about this 10 of Swords, please? I'll show you what I'm looking at in a moment. The scenes on these two cards are quite similar, and it's almost as if the lady in the 8 of Cups is walking towards the 10 of Swords, which the rest of the energy hasn't really felt like. The Ace of Swords, the Truth again. And the Chariot, Emperor. 5 of Cups, Judgment. Very interesting message here. I'm just trying to see if I can get any more clarity on it. Anything else around this 10 of Swords? Thanks, Spirit. That's way too many cards. I'm just trying to see. Too many cards came out, and I just split what's left in my hand because half the deck, not half, but some of the deck fell on the floor. I opened to Stormy and Death. Let me show you, and Courage is at the bottom of the deck. Let me show you what I've got, and I'll tell you what I've had coming through. So we've got the Eight of Cups came out first, and this was just anything else that we need to know, followed by the Ten of Swords. Now, the Ten of Swords is absolutely the end of something, but it's also that peak of the difficult journey. Like, you're at the hardest part of that. What I noticed immediately about these two cards is they seem like really similar themes, and it's almost as if this lady is walking down towards this water edge. Even the backgrounds in the mountains are quite similar. The moon has changed, so I don't know if there's a message there around whether this is for the full moon tomorrow or the next full moon. Let me just see what that is and when that is. Couple of things there. I've been thinking that the full moon is tomorrow, the 12th Australian time, and that it was the 11th US time. It's actually the 13th Australian time. And the reason why that is interesting to me is when I first pulled out this card, despite the fact I was talking about releasing, when I looked at the 13, I linked that with the full moon, but thought I had it wrong because I had the date for when the full moon actually was wrong. So I'm feeling like this is all happening in the next 2 days. If it's not, then it's by the following full moon, which is on the 12th of May Australian time, and that full moon's in Scorpio. There is something about by walking away or releasing the things from the past that are no longer in alignment, which is just feeding back into all of this message, there is a difficult ending coming that will take courage to face, that will feel stormy. And the very first message after I saw that these two cards were so similar is there's something here about being stabbed in the back. And it feels like by multiple people. And when I was talking before around this shift in how we manifest things and how we go about things and how that might be triggering people around us, I feel like there's something about that by letting go of whatever it is that you're letting go, people around you may be so triggered by that they may act in ways that hurts you. And that might be multiple people, and it's probably going to be pretty rough. But as I said, I think this is in very quick. Well, we have the Chariot at the bottom of the deck. I feel like this, and we've got the Aries energy too. Yeah, this is all very quick. It's not going to drag out. The other thing I got when I was clarifying the Ten of Swords was the Ace of Swords. So truth again. It's this idea that you're actually walking in your truth that is going to bring this about. But also that's, again, what you're being asked to do right now. That ultimately that is the path that you're meant to be on. And if we go back to the Mary Magdalene message at the start of this video of remembering the path that they have walked. So I just want to link a little bit more of that Magdalene line message into this because it feels really relevant. Now, the Magdalene line obviously included Mary Magdalene, included a whole number of other spiritually significant divine masters, and I'm struggling with the right words, but collective feminine consciousnesses basically that are energetic and ancestral lineages connected to this line that all walked a path of awakening, healing, and remembrance, particularly in times where this power was feared, suppressed, and misunderstood. And I would encourage, if any of this is resonating with you, for you to go have a look at this. When I was shuffling the deck to do the channeled message, Joan of Arc also came out, which is also part of this line, and she obviously walked her path of divine feminine warrior in a really difficult time where, again, the persecution and suppression of the wisdom of the feminine absolutely was rife. The same is true for the Mary Magdalene story itself. Some of the other names that you might recognize include Hathor, Isis, and Sophia, but also Mother Mary. So there is a lot of energetic principles that you can tap into, but also stories you can tap into, because this I'm almost a bit uncomfortable with this message, but this feels Like, as much as that channel message was like, we're on a path and this is the tipping point, it almost does feel like there's going to still be some persecution of those of us walking this path. And I'm not necessarily getting the sense that that's going to look like it has in some of these stories of these women. But I am getting the sense that it is going to be challenging, and it is also going to be healing to that wounding within those of us that are part of this path, which I keep using phrasing as if I feel like I am, and I hadn't necessarily recognized that until today. So that in itself might be a new remembering for you that's coming online. But there is something about what's going to take place as you walk your path of truth, the path of truth of feminine wisdom and leadership, that will heal. Oh, this is so beautiful. That will heal the karmic path of the Magdalene line and the divine feminine energy, and will really allow this energy to anchor here on earth at this point in time. I didn't know what to expect today. Again, I never do with these messages, particularly over the last 2 weeks, but that was so beautiful. I'm just trying to work out if there's anything else that I need to bring through. I'm going to get my Divine Feminine deck and just bring through whatever message wants to come through from there. Give me one moment. Either, since that's come back around, I'm going to show you this again. I might read you that message as well. Mary Magdalene, sacred vessel, you are the answer. Be guided to your purpose. Any other messages you want to bring through? Spirit messages that are of the light and the best and highest good for. Thank you. The Black Madonna, who is another member of the Magdalene line. Our Lady of the Hermits, I transform pain and suffering into a greater capacity to love. I'll have a read of that card. And then I split the deck to Isis, who is also a member. The goddess of magic, sexual energy is sacred. My pleasure is a prayer that brings me back to life. Okay. Let me read you the Magdalene card. No, I'm going to do it the other way around. Let me read you Black Madonna first. Black Madonna, Our Lady of the Hermits. I transform pain and suffering into a greater capacity to love. The Black Madonna represents the power we all have to emerge from the darkness transformed. She's often depicted holding the royal scepter of a ruling monarch. There are beliefs that the Black Madonna represents a new awareness or consciousness towards the earth and our bodies. She represents the wisdom we can only accrue when we go through often painful fires of transformation. The Black Madonna helps us become conscious of the spirit in matter, of the light in the dark, and of the intersection of sexuality and spirituality. For millennia, the body, the earth, and all forms of matter have been devalued and misunderstood. The dark has been so vilified, yet all life emerges from the pitch black womb. The darkness is potential. It is the crucial and elemental stage that we must all go through to create new or more life. The Black Madonna is the emblem of deep wisdom, the profound consciousness that is inherent in all things. All living and created things are energy. The body has wisdom, the earth has wisdom, and the pain we experience as humans contains deep wisdom. When we are in the fires of suffering, it can be difficult to trust that gold is being forged. It can be hard to trust when we are in terrific pain that there is a process at work that will make us more authentic, more alive, and infinitely freer. It can be almost impossible to accept or notice the presence of the divine when we are at our most human. The Black Madonna is the cauldron that holds us steadfastly as we endure the alchemy of integrating more soul into our existence. She is the promise that what doesn't survive the fires of suffering was never meant for us. And she is the presence that is there with us even when we might feel the most alone, reminding us that there is no darkness we can enter without being met by love. I feel like that's linked. That whatever this is that we are about to experience serves a purpose and will be part of our transformation and increasing our capacity for love, but also for all of the other gifts that we have to offer as we step into this divine feminine energy. There was a video, this feels relevant, so I'm going to share, even though this is an incredibly long week ahead energy reading. There was a video I saw on Instagram right before I jumped on to record the channeled message, and it was speaking to this idea that's been proposed from a particular section of a religious group, of the idea of empathy being bad, even this idea of toxic empathy, which again is just something in the current world that boggles my mind. But it's almost as if it's like this last attempt of the old world system to persecute what are naturally beautiful feminine energies. And even within the video, the people who were genuinely talking about this as a problem within that particular religious sector were saying that women are the most vulnerable to the energy of empathy, which is terrible, and that they are then often empathetic towards sinners and towards rebels and towards something else. And I was having a conversation last night about, these beautiful aspects of ourselves. And I was talking about myself and my experience of being an overly emotional person, of being an empathetic person, of being a really highly passionate person. And that almost being shamed and judged my whole life, to the point where I've had to try and hold it back in order to feel worthy, to feel valuable, to feel lovable, any of those things. And for the Magdalene line to be coming through today, for this message of the Black Madonna to be coming through, and that Joan of Arc kind of energy, all of that energy of women or feminine energies, because I don't want to suggest that this reading is just speaking to people who present female within the world, but those people in the past that have embraced these beautiful aspects of the divine feminine energy that have been persecuted. And there is this last bit of that pendulum swing where that patriarchy are doing everything they can to try and persecute what are beautiful aspects of the feminine energy. And those of us that are on this path, on this divine mission, this was the card that kept coming out as I was preparing, well, not coming out, but kept being at the bottom of the deck as I was shuffling. This divine mission that we're on, we are healing. Oh, this is so nice. We are healing that persecution, but not without our own persecution as we go through what really feels like the next few days, but let's say till the next full moon, which is the 12th of May. We'll well and truly be out of Aries energy by then, so I feel like it's going to be quicker than that. All right, let's just quickly wrap up with the Mary Magdalene card. To go rest because I've worn myself out with this reading. Where are you, Mary Magdalene? Mary Magdalene, sacred vessel, you are the answer. Be guided to your purpose. Mary Magdalene, or Mary of Magdala, was one of the original followers of Jesus Christ. It has been recorded that she had the first vision of the risen Christ when she went to his tomb on Easter morning. I'm going to come back to that. We will finish this video eventually. And it was through this vision that he revealed to her his sacred teachings and initiated her as a teacher. She was the apostle to the apostles, and it is therefore through her that a pivotal aspect of the original teachings of Christ has reached the world. Mary was a highly sensitive clairvoyant, and it has been speculated that she was the partner, wife, design consort of Jesus. If Jesus was the vehicle for Christ energy, Mary was the vehicle for the Magdalene, a powerful feminine force that renders all beings equal and helps the world see the voices of the feminine are not only important, but the sacred force that can save the world from ruin. You are the answer you seek. You hold the treasure, the magic, the mystery. Right now, you are being encouraged to recognize that you are a valuable part of the universe's plan. If you have a strong desire to share what you have learnt, it is time to do so. This can be scary and sometimes overwhelming because putting yourself out there can leave you open to scrutiny. But if you are comfortable with your gifts and teachings, you hold a sacred energy that allows others to see you clearly. The light of the Magdalene is surrounding you now and encouraging you to recognize that the healing you have experienced is actually what you are here to teach. Take some time to reflect on what you have overcome and to see that this experience can help many. Your personal testimony can move others and even mountains. Lean on your Creator and know that you're being called to be a vessel for the sacred. Just wanted to quickly speak to that idea of Easter, which is obviously coming soon. We are the 11th in Australia today, 10th in other parts of the world. So we're 10 days out from that. We've got that Libra full moon on the 13th, which is kind of that period that I'm doing this reading for. I've been hearing a lot that there's something about Easter this year that's going to be transformative on the collective level. I haven't necessarily got the message that that is something that we would look at as something good, but I feel like there's a link to what I was saying before around having that distance from what is the truth right now in terms of what is being presented to us and what is just an illusion. And that maybe some of what we're looking at take place in the world it's like it's shifting something that ultimately is a positive shift. And within that Mary Magdalene message, okay, I've just tried to get a card to try and clarify what's coming through for me. There's a few things. As I was reading the Mary Magdalene message, that idea of resurrection of the Christ energy resonated. And we're obviously approaching Easter very soon. I've been hearing a lot about Easter this year being something truly transformative. I have Death and Rebirth on the page, a transformation card on the ground from the Sacred Symbols deck, and I just have twice shuffled my Work Your Light deck to try and clarify the message that came through, and I'll speak about what came out because first I had like 3 cards fall out, but then at the bottom of the deck I had transformation again. I put the cards back in, shuffled again, and I've got transformation at the bottom of the deck as well. Things are changing at a cellular level, deep healing. So then I had the Priestess come out, which reminds me of Isis, also reminds me of like this divine feminine leader energy that I was speaking about already mentioned Priestess within that, how you're being called to step up and lead. So again, that's resonant with all of the messages that we've already had come through, but the next message I got was Trust and Niggle. So I don't think there's a card in here that can confirm what I was getting. I'm going to speak to that energy. What I was getting, and I was kind of already getting it from this card. I've already alluded to it with this card, but there's something around events taking place over the next week through the Easter weekend possibly that are going to be an extreme last grasp of control of feminine energy. And I'm not entirely sure what that's going to look like. But I can certainly see within the current context that that could be something that we could not even fathom right now as I'm recording this. But in ways we've seen shifts in trying to control the feminine body, feminine energy, feminine whatever over the last however many years, really, particularly within particular countries. And I'm feeling like there's something coming as we lead up to that Easter weekend. I think there's a lot coming in the next week, but I'm getting the sense that there's something coming this week, almost like, I don't even know. And I probably don't even want to try to put words to it because it feels like something I don't want to manifest. Whatever it is, feels like it's not going to be met well, particularly by feminines, but actually also by masculines that aren't buying into that narrative that is at play right now. And it is going to be the shift, the tipping point of this feminine energy, because there's going to be no choice but to step into it. And I'm really getting that, like, that feminine warrior energy. Like, we're not going down without a fight, and this fight is going to be bringing in all aspects of the beautiful feminine energy. It's like that sacred rage. It's that mother bear energy of, you will not do this to me and my loved ones and my children and my children's children. You will not do this to my sister and to my mother and to my best friend. Like, we are one, and we're going to rally and fight together, and we will no longer tolerate the happenings of the world. We are taking back our power, and we are stepping into our leadership. And again, as I said at the start of this message, that will look different for all of us, but we need to be able to and be willing to step into our truth and to the struggle and pain that might come with that. And I really feel, and this makes me emotional saying that for some people, stepping into that energy might be the ultimate sacrifice. And that itself is only going to perpetuate that desire to regain our position, our balance. I'm not feeling like this is a one versus the other energy. It's like, we just want to be recognized for what we have to contribute. And by we, I don't even just mean, again, I just mean feminine energy. The feminine energy within all of us wants to be recognized for what it has to contribute. And we're going to fight for that. And for those that, like those that came before us in this work, do pay the ultimate sacrifice, that was the path that they chose. All right. I am going to finish that there. Oh, it's a long one. I'll go edit out all my sniffles. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Thank you for those of you that stuck around to the end. Another truly powerful message that I feel really honoured to have been able to share with you today. And wishing you, what am I wishing you? Let me be really intentional with this. I'm wishing you the courage to step fully into your path and your truth this week, to sit with what it is that you are wanting to create, to lean into the energy of what that feels like, to release what is no longer in alignment, to heal what is blocking you from receiving those things, and to open yourself up to fully embracing the feminine energy in all its beauty, including the openness to receiving all that you are here to receive at this time. Bye, everyone.